I really enjoy young people and how they're picking up the mantle of sharing the good news. The good news of the gospel comes out in many forms. The, the, the main thing of the gospel is the same: get saved. And the way that the disciples brought it out, he sent them out by twos, and some of them had their personalities, and they brought this gospel out according to their personalities. Like Peter, he had a different personality, but so did John. So I think that since this is Sunday, this would be a good day to share this type of message. Okay? So do me a favor, subscribe to my channel and help me get 1,000 subscribers. It's not going to cost you anything. Do it now, and you won't have to think about it later. Maybe I'll slow down my speech a little bit until a couple of people get them hit that subscribe button. Okay, so my topic for today, and I'm going to keep it brief, not unless the Holy Spirit just makes me a little bit chatty. He does that sometimes. But um, there are some beautiful cathedrals overseas. And I'm not really sure how many beautiful cathedrals we have here in the United States. Some of us have been throughout the United States, and I haven't really heard anybody um, emphasize the beauty of the cathedrals here in the United States. Even though we do have some, what do they call those? Old buildings, the ones that were founded and churches have moved into, or courts or something that have moved into, but not so much the beautiful cathedrals. Overseas, from my limited experience, so don't take this as the gospel, but and I had an opportunity to go overseas, and they didn't really. I had a chance to go overseas on a tour, and they didn't really take us to beautiful cathedrals. They took us to like maybe one old church, and it didn't seem to really fit with the tour I was on. But it was the tour director. He's discretion, so maybe he made a couple dollars to take us there. I'm not mad. Okay, that's the thing about uh, joining. I'm not really a joiner because you tend to go places where you probably wouldn't go on your own, but since the group is going and you're participating in a group, you may go somewhere. That, that ended on going. Kind of look at it like this: if you are a famous singer, I just tend to levitate towards the singers because I think I'm a singer. Um, you have someone that opens the concert for you, and I don't know if you go over what that opening act is going to sing or say, or could be a comedian or something. But the promoters determine what is going to be uh, your opening act and what the opening act is going to say. You really don't have any control over that. Really, the message, and sometimes they say and do some outrageous things that are completely against what you believe and what you stand for. So that's my reason for not going viral and being famous. Even at my little level, I was able to sing and the audience would respond with standing ovations. Then I'm giving honor to God for that. So it would not have been beyond my uh, thing to pursue a career in singing, or at least try to get some exposure and make it, something that I can make money off of. But I've never had that inclination. I never inclined myself to money. When we grew up, our parents only had to say it once: money don't grow on trees. And they was right. So, kind of in the back of my mind. One thing I want to share with you, young people, if you say things to younger people, it actually becomes part of what they recall when they're in situations later in life. The Bible says, train up the child in the way that they should go, and when they are older, they won't part from it. Well, that's going to include some words speaking to their lives. So, hey, if you don't have anything good to say to a young person, don't say anything. Be quiet. Shut up. Okay? So, anyway, what started me on this was I was thinking about those beautiful cathedrals that were founded over seas. They weren't built by, there's no way in the world that they could have been with the tools and stuff that we had. There's just one temple. Since you are listening to me, you probably would have scrolled upon this for on your For You page or something like that there. But they have this one temple that they have surmised was built from a rock, from the top of the rock down. You're not going to do that with tools and stuff that we've used, like the cavemen use. But anyway, I digress. I fell for it. So full stop on that. The reason why I want to use the cathedrals from overseas is because they did tend to be churches, or they have attended. They tend to be temples. They are okay. So, um, my point and my topic for today is, all my life following religion, shake it or just yap. Little Mozart, shake it or just yap. Rajan Yada 7730. Grand Rising. The reason for me starting this was it dawned on me, and this is how I'm going to make the connection. I am well. I am what some people call highly favored. I'm just favored. I don't know what part of the area you're from, Ranjan, Yada, but I'm from the Northeast, and I work outside. And I had a Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego experience, only it was completely opposite of fire. It was a snapping cold wind uh, thing. I don't know. I can't think of the name of what those things are called, but if it was water, it would have been a microburst. But it was a cold winter blast, is what they call it. And I'm working outside. The thing was, I was in a booth, to be fair, but the booth didn't have heat. And, my car's broke, but I still, uh, it's a side hustle for me. So, I went. It was supposed to be 40 degrees, the weather predicted. So, I was kind of dressed for that. Since I work outside, I might have had a layer or two on. But when this blaze thing happened, I should write that down. um, when this winter snap came in, it went from 40 degrees down to I don't know what degrees it was, but instantly my hands were freezing, and I still had to perform whatever I was trying to do. And I feel that the creator of heaven and earth came inside of this booth with me because I wouldn't have made it. It was just too cold. All of a sudden, I was underdressed. I was near some construction workers, and when they work outside, they have outside wear. You know, they're ready and prepared to stay out there in the cold all day. Now, I do have a jacket that has a heater in it. You get a little battery uh, pack and you plug the coat in and it heats. So that would have been sufficient for me in 40 degrees. But when this winter snap came in, it wasn't. It wasn't because I had to use my hands, and the uh, the wind knocked over a fence. I'm trying to hustle on a parking lot, and since it's in there's a construction area in front of it, they have these fences they put up, and uh, the wind gusts were so strong it knocked over the fence onto the parking lot. Now, fortunately, now I'm going somewhere. I'm still talking about the cathedral, but I'm answering a question. And if you're just joining, I'm answering a question earlier on here. So this is going to be a little concern. I'm freezing. The fences are being knocked over, and I have a second side of it, and there was a car parked there. So I did the best I could to communicate with my uh, uh, with the owner of the lot to get him to call that person and ask them to come over and move their car because they were also by a fence, and that might not have looked that didn't look like anything but parking lot drama when that man would have come back and seen that this a fence had fallen or the wind had blown the fence on his car. And nobody wants parking lot drama after being at work all day. So I'm not sure how that went because I couldn't call the person. I don't have the telephone list for the people who are on this lot because we're just starting it, and the boss has access to these phone numbers because he or he's assigning the leases. He's collecting the money for the leases, so of course he has the contact information from them. But my point here is that all of a sudden it was freezing cold. So what I actually had to put my bike inside of the booth that's not heated yet. But it's fine because I was dressing appropriately for outside. So all I had to do was to typically on a typical day is just close the door. And you know, I could wear my gloves and stuff. I would be warm. I do know about hand warmers and stuff, but where's the stores that sell them when you need them? I should always remember to buy some whenever I see them. They're not really that expensive. And one of the reasons why I avoid getting the hand warmers is because once you shake them up and put them in, they're just on for 8 hours. So I don't really need them for 8 hours. So to me, it's kind of a waste, but welcome inside my brain. But I tell you what, after that cold snap came in, I bet you the next time I see some, I'm going to buy 4 or 5 of them because you know I'm just like that. I'm kind of frugal instead of just buying a box of them. So I tell you what, in hindsight, if I see them, they're generally on the counter in convenience stores. So the next time I see one, I'm just going to buy the box. The box might contain maybe 10 of them. So anyway, I digress. Rabbit trail. So I'm talking about. Let me see here. Let's go back to the comments. I'm trying to. Hi, how are you? I answered that one. Taste test your goon like a chef taste his tomato sauce. Okay. Some things I may not understand, but I do appreciate you, little Mozart, commenting. And let's see who else. Where is you from? I is from the Northeast. It's cold up here. Trust me. Well, stay wherever you are. Do not come up here on a tour or a visit. Okay, so taste test your goon like a chef. Taste test his tomato sauce. So I guess you're communicating, but I'm not really sure what that means. You think about, let's see, what do you think about Dixon Diaz? Uh, I don't think that Dixon Diaz is a part of my journey, but if he's doing good and trying to win the loss with the gospel, I'm sure will come along. Uh, Little Mozart. I'm answering others' questions, so it may come across as yapping, but I'm pretty sure that the person who gets their answer, their question responded to, may not think of it as yapping. But thank you so much for sharing. Okay. Hello, Ranjan Yada. I think you said hello before, and my response was Grand Rising. I tend not to use words that might tend to be uh, being able to be perceived as hell and low. I try not to use those if they have any effect on people, subliminally speaking. So I just switched to Grand Rising now. James, Grand Rising. Okay, so I think I've reacted to the people who um, put the comments in, so I'm going to go ahead and get back to what started me on this. There is beautiful cathedrals. There may be some in the United States. I just haven't happened to see them, but we got some really uh, extraordinary edifices here. So we have some, and one is even near me. And it just wasn't a place that I would go into because I, whenever I praised and worshiped, it just wasn't in that type of edifice. It was in a typical, either a new building that was built in after 2000, or it was in a building that was kind of mediocre, but it was built, uh, at least 100 years ago. So that was my idea of a place to go and worship. So when I seen the cathedrals, but particularly, correct me if I'm wrong, or I'm going to say the EU, or maybe around Asia, but it's clearly not in the West. So what I'm astounded by is those edifices in the on the east. They're closed. They are empty, considering that as beautiful as they should be occupied every day. I mean, yeah, I would like to occupy them, just going there every day just to look around and be astonished by the beauty and the intricacy, and allowing the bells to ring, and stuff like that there. That's kind of what they were designed for. I don't know if the bells were added on after we found these edifices or not, but uh, who knew? There is a picture of Spider-Man, and when he had that black goo on him, he actually ended up in a tower, a bell tower, and when the bell would ring, it would make this goo come off of him. And eventually, the bells rang long enough for him to get that black goo off of him, and he became the regular red and blue Spider-Man. Okay, so there is healing in bells, and there's a very interesting story if you want to go down a rabbit trail why they took bells out of the United States edifices and churches and places that were founded. Okay, Learn something new every day or stay at home. Don't stay the same. Don't lean on your own understanding. I want you to get this moving. I want you to grow and become. Hey, James. Hi. Look like I got a second one from you, or maybe it's the first one. So, hear me. Uh, hear me. Don't lose. Pick up what I'm putting down. The Bible says that the word falls on good ground or good soil, thorny soil, or stony soil. Try not to let the deceiver steal this word from you, because he's going to come as soon as I put it out there. He's going to come and try to snatch it from you, young people. You're going to find this saying, almost every one of you will say, why do I take one step forward and three steps back? Well, I tell you what the Holy Spirit or the Ruach or whatever you're going to call them revealed to me is the reason why you do that is because you were supposed to make a turn 2 steps ago. Okay? That's a gem. Write that down. Okay? So, anyway, I'm feeling that I'm talking to more than one person, so you may hear me yap. Okay? So, I'll get to whatever you want me to yap about if you stick around and subscribe to my channel. And if I don't say it today, you'll hear me say it later. I say pretty much the same thing because I've found that that's a successful way to get the gospel out. Because if you read the Bible, it pretty much says the same thing, even the corrupted parts. But anyway, the cathedrals and stuff have white Jesuses, edifices, and angels and stuff, and they tend to look non-melanated. I, to this day, never seen an angelic uh, edif- uh, statue that had an afro or looked non-melanated. Stop me where I'm lying. Okay, uh, so that's just me. I'm just trying to share. But when I came into Christianity, don't shoot me down. When I got introduced to it, it was called Christianity. That there was a white Jesus there. I didn't have any problem with that. I don't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with the white Jesus until I understood later on that the creator of heaven and earth decided to have his son be a melanated man. It wasn't. I didn't pick it. I was perfectly happy with the white Jesus because I wanted the relationship with the Son of God and the Creator of heaven and earth. It just made more sense to me, even when I was a child, to have a relationship with these two because of the correction and stuff that they give you to redirect you. It's just overwhelming. It just seems easier to get along with them. The Bible says it like this: agree quickly with your adversary quickly, lest he turn you over to the jailer. And then there's another one that's long standing that says, the creator of heaven and earth, I'm ad libbing here, chastens the ones that he loves. And it's not just uh, go to your room. That when he chastens you, it's you get a whooping and you go to your room. And no snacks. Yeah, pick up what I'm putting down there. So I found that Russia has famously revealed what they call Russian icons. If you don't know what an icon is, basically it's a disciple back from the time of Christ that somebody painted, because they didn't have cameras and stuff like that. They're young people. When you young people have grown up, you always we're around cell phones and cameras and all kinds of stuff, you might not be able to fathom that there was a time when there was not cameras. I digress. So, uh, I think at some point, the people over there came to realize that these edifices that had the white Jesuses in it, which it tells you don't make a graven image. And what they had done was they made the graven image and they made it look like the long haired, blue eyed Jesus and even the angels. I tell you what, there might be some angels that look like that, but if you take the time to read the Bible, oh, the angels are something that you just don't want to see. They're going to startle you if you see one. Okay, and some people will see one and bow down to them. I'm like, oh, but the ones that you see that are described in the Bible, your your flight or fight mechanism is going to kick in. Error on the side of flight. I'm just trying to prepare you. Okay, so you can't say you weren't told. Okay, and this is, I just want you to enjoy your journey because eventually you might come alongside of me, and if you're not having a good time, and if your continence is low or something, that takes away from my energy and what I'm trying to do, because I'm going to be concerned about why you are in my presence with a low countenance. There's a story in the Bible about a servant who came into a king's presence. Back then, them kings wasn't playing, and you don't come in their presence, all gloom and doom. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. You don't come into the king's presence from some of the stories I read. So this one servant did, and the king kind of liked him, and he asked him, "Hey, what's up?" You know, I'm just like Charlie asked me just now, "What's up?" And he told him, "Oh man, I'm serving you, and it's nice being in here. You're taking good care of me, but my people, they don't have a wall to protect them from looters. You know, in 2025, you could have a store and people will just swarm into your store and start grabbing stuff. So kind of look at it like that. Back in the old days, they had walls to prevent people from doing that. So the king was like, "Oh man, yeah, I got you. Uh, what do you need?" And he gave him to whatever he needed to fix that wall. And he gave him some guards too to make sure he made it. And he didn't give him no short guards, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so um, what they have done, so to get back on track, was what they had done was uh, stop attending church because it turns out that the disciples and stuff were black. And I just can't understand. They know that blacks will attend churches that have the white Jesus in it and the white angels, and it doesn't really seem to bother them. But once it came out through the Russian icons, and I mean, concerning the cathedrals, they emptied out years ago. Okay, but in 2025, if you go over there and if they're empty, you try to figure out, well, what happened? Why aren't they? This is beautiful. The presence of the Most High is in here and everything. You know, you might not be able to understand why it's empty. Well, that's why, because over there in that area, they understand that the icons were melanated people, so they just aren't able to grasp onto the disciples being melanated the way the blacks um, levitated, and it didn't matter to them if the icon was white. So let's just go that far to keep from just going on and on yapping. So I guess you picked up what I put down. You're smart people. Oh, I have the propensity to push buttons. Okay. All right. So I'm just going over the comments. I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. So be of good cheer. Uh, Getting saved and receiving salvation is not what you think. It isn't anything that you can do. It's something that you accept. If you can accept that the icons were melanated people, should be a piece of cake to accept and do the sinner's prayer and do step two, get baptized, and do step three. All right. It's not a one and done thing. Just keep going. You get many benefits for it. You get protection of angels, the ones that you would see and be afraid of. Imagine them protecting you. That's all. I'm down with that. If you're having any problems with the sinner's prayer or receiving salvation, it's a free gift. And if you need me to help you, um, I'll come alongside of you and break this sinner's prayer thing down. Okay, and eventually I'm going to uh, share with you why do not want to be considered a Christian. Why would I? They've done some terrible things in the name of Christianity. But on the same hand, now I realize that I didn't join Christianity to do bad or harm to people. Joined them back then because of, love, peace, kindness, joy, like the Krishnas. All right, so let me see. What is this song that I wanted to end this um, live with? I can always rely on. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. Oh, an on-time God. Yes, he is. He may not come when you want him, but he'll be there right on time. Shout out, Shabazz. He's an on time God. Yes, he is. He's on time. He's on time. You have to remember that in my head, I'm hearing the music and I'm seeing people singing it. But the one that reactivated me today or yesterday, that's not the song. But I want to introduce these old time songs that were good for Paul and Silas. They were good for Paul and Silas. They were good for Paul and Silas. And it's good enough for me. I want you to stick around in this Kingdom of Heaven thing and learn these songs. You're going to need them. They're tools. They're scriptures. If you don't want to write them or read them, you can sing them. It has the same effect. So somewhere along the line, I got all these notes all over the place. I don't think I'm gonna find the song that started me uh, back to wanting to sing. The Bible, or sounds like it should be in the Bible, but at some point in your journey, if you are a singer, that ability will be taken away from you by the deceiver, but the Most High will give you a new song, and you'll get your song back. So these are just things for uh, that'll help you. So yeah, I see you, Diddy. Um, Thank you. I'm glad it made you laugh because at least it touched you, and at least you heard it. I'll take it either way. Okay. If I do look like Snoop Dogg, Diddy, I'm a short one because I had a perception of him that had changed. He's actually quite tall. I think they say he's 5'9" and taller. I'm 5'9" or less, so I'm not even the average height of the American male. Okay. All right. Uh, so yes, I can see your comment, but if you're showing some kind of photo or something, I can't actually see that. Okay, so anyway, let me end it with that. Uh, May the Lord add a blessing to the hearing of His word, and go out there, help somebody. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can bring back beauty with a word or song, if I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. If you can help somebody as you pass along, then your living shall not be in vain. Shalom.